Stephen A., is it time for Kentucky and Coach Calipari to part ways?
No, I'm not going to go that far. I don't believe that at all. I think that he's one of the great coaches. I think that obviously he keeps things very interesting, very compelling. He keeps them in the mix. There's something to be said for that. I just think that it piggybacks off of what we talked about earlier. He's got to get his toughness back. He's got to stop getting caught up in trying to say the right things and look right and focus on winning damn basketball games. John Calipari, the person that we see on television, the person that we want to hear speak about the game of basketball and what have you. Too much of it now is because he makes great television as opposed to him winning basketball games. He's not winning to the level that was expected. He's getting to the NCAA tournament, but he hasn't won a national championship since 2012. Hasn't even been to a Final Four since 2015. More is expected when you're at the University of Kentucky. This is where Tubby Smith coached. This is where Rick Pitino coached, for crying out loud. You had great coaches throughout history that have coached at the University of Kentucky. This is blue blood. I mean, this is what they expect. And he's not living up to it. I don't want to hear about how great the kids are. We know the kids are great. We all care about them. We care about their mental health, their well-being, their futures as young men, and their contributions that we want them to make to society, so society will be better, okay? Because we all know the adults have let the kids down on so many occasions with the actions that we've partaken. So we understand that. But when you're up there coaching, it's about winning them damn games. And it's about making sure that you're in the mix, competing for national titles, not getting bounced out 1-4 in your past 5 NCAA tournament games, matching the program's worst 5-game span in the tournament. I mean, that stuff cannot be happening. He doesn't deserve to be fired. I'm not going to say that. He's too compelling, he's too good, he's too accomplished to ignore all of that. But he does need to be checked. People like myself and Coach need to look at him and say, yo, Bruiser Flint needs to look at him and say, yo, Coach Cal, what has happened to you? Worldwide West in New York with the Knicks, who loves Cal, and they go back decades. He needs to look at Cal. Everybody needs to look at Cal to say, what the hell has happened to you, man? Do you want to coach, or do you want to give motivational speeches? Do you want to be somebody that's inspirational, that's packing houses so you can give motivational speeches and inspire people to do stuff? Or do you want to remind the world what it is to win as a coach? He needs to prioritize getting back to that, because I'm saying here on national television, I don't think that's been the priority that it needs to be when it comes to Cal in recent memory.
Stephen, I agree with you that I think, look, Cal needs to be the coach of Kentucky. And since the COVID year, COVID set them back, because all of college basketball changed when COVID came, because everyone got 5th and 6th years. Like Goki, he's a 6-year player. Cal didn't show the agility that he usually would show in terms of being ahead of the curve. He's behind the curve in terms of the transfer portal. He's behind the curve in terms of getting old and staying old. So he's got to adjust. But he needs to be the coach of Kentucky. He's a smart guy. He hasn't lost his passion for winning. John Calipari needs to just adjust. And like any good businessman, any good CEO, he needs to show agility in terms of how he's building this Kentucky program. Yeah, recruit the best players, but coach them like they weren't the best players. Yeah, do what you've always done, but you've got to supplement those guys by getting older, bringing in the best guys from the portal, because guys are eligible immediately, filling your voids with tough-minded, physical, winning players that will buy into roles and buy into winning. That's the biggest thing John Calipari's got to do. And then he's got to go back to old school's Cal. Old school Cal basically came to every single day, drew a line in the sand and said, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, and anything else will be unaccepted. John Calipari is a compassionate guy. Stephen A., you know him. You talk about Bruiser Flint. I know Bruiser. My brother recruited him to St. Joe's. All right? But as compassionate as he is, he's got to go back to that toughness. All right? Take those older guys. Let them be your culture creators. They don't have the culture creators. They had one, obviously, in Antonio Reeves. He's got to keep a Du Thiero. He's got to keep a Reed Shepherd. He's got to have a guy in that locker room that can coach those young guys. And when Cal's not around, hold those young guys accountable, because a player-led team is better than a coach-led team. If he does that, Cal will be back in the Final Four and competing for national championships.
Coach, check this out. Let me throw a couple of numbers by you. Entering the year 2022, The University of Kentucky's basketball program was 19-0 against 14 seeds or lower in their NCAA tournament history. Since that time, they're 0-2. They lost to number 15 St. Peter's in 2022. They lost yesterday to a number 14 seed. And then I'm looking at these guys right here. This is Cal over the last 4 years, Coach. 4 years. Missed the NCAA tournament, first round exit, second round exit, first round exit. That is not Kentucky. And the Cal that I know, he would have been sick to his stomach from the first exit. It wouldn't have been all 4 of these years that this has happened, and we're hearing him talk about, I'm feeling sorry for the kids. I'm feeling sorry for the kids.
He's still sick to his stomach, though.
No.
He's still sick to his stomach.
I know he is. I know he is. I know he is. I know he is. But what I'm saying is, we know about the kids. We get that. That's what the microphone and camera is for. We'll put it right in front of them. We can hear that from them. What about you, Cal? What about you? Because the Cal I know, the Cal I covered at UMass, the Cal I watched go to the national championship game against Kansas, that Cal I'm talking about. Remember, I'm covering Temple, Coach. John Chaney. When John Chaney went after him. Why did John Chaney go after him? Let me tell you something. I'm not talking micro here. I'm just talking macro. Ultimately, John Calipari gave you the impression he'd do anything to win. Anything. You understand? And it ruffled people the wrong way, and he could give less than a damn. I don't know where that John Calipari is these days. The John Calipari that I see, I don't know if he's spending time with Dr. Phil 1 minute, a pastor or a priest the next. I mean, the guy is just, he's trying to be nice all the damn time.